What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on some comments that were made by Jason Whitlock, right? And Jason Whitlock was saying on his podcast that there could possibly be a a situation where Shaquille O'Neal and Matt Barnes are behind like the downfall and all this drama that's surrounding Shannon Sharpe. And so, and now I didn't really know about this. So evidently there was a audio tape of Matt Barnes speaking about Shaquille O'Neal looking for some information to bring down Shannon Sharpe, right? And so Jason Whitlock pointed out that that could be a possibility. Like Shaq could be behind this. Now, do I think that Shaq is behind this? No, probably not. I don't think so. Shaq behind it. Um, Now, evidently, Shaq is not a big fan of Shannon Sharpe, you know, and so that could, that right there could be an issue. But and also Matt Barnes, I don't think Matt Barnes is not a fan of Shannon Sharpe. So Shannon Sharpe has just made a lot of enemies and have rubbed people the wrong way. He got women that don't like him. He has other athletes who don't like him. Comedians don't like. What's the guy named DL Hughley? Said that he was well, he called them Wendy Williams with a weight set, something like that. That was kind of funny. He called him Wendy Williams with a weight set, right? Because of the type of interviews that Shannon Sharpe do and the drama that comes, from his interviews. But and also he said that somebody from Fox could be paying him back too because they don't really the people over at Fox, like what's the guy named Skip Bayless could be behind this. And it could be, like I said, it's a lot of people that are probably glad to see Shannon Sharpe going through what he's going to, right? But I think the biggest person, who really brought Shannon Sharpe down is Shannon Sharpe. He's the one who decided to date a 19-year-old, when he's 54, 55 years old, and I think for Shannon Sharpe to always have some advice for people as far as dating and even sometimes, like how you should conduct yourself from a business standpoint. It's kind of like hypocritical. So, you can't blame it on the 19-year-old young lady. You can't blame it on Shaquille O'Neal, Matt Barnes. You can't blame it on what's the Skip Bayless, because Shannon Sharpe knew from his past experiences that you have to be careful with the way you move around women. Especially, he's had these type of allegations against him, before. And he's, what's the guy named Jason Whitlock always allude to the fact or allude to, like his HR file, like from when he was with Fox or whatever other network that he was with, his HR file and these type of incidents and stuff that happened. So now, you know, he Shannon Sharpe could have dodged this bullet. You know, now not just it's not even just the money thing, the money with this. There's, other prices to play. Like your reputation, his reputation now is really messed up, right? I think this is really going to scar his reputation because all those old allegations from 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, all that stuff follows him back and it comes back. So there's your reputation. So there's a social stigma that comes along with being somebody who who is perceived to be a man who takes what he want, from women without their consent. So there's that part of it. This also can affect his like his relationships, as far as like his family. Like I'm sure that Shannon Sharpe always talk about his sister. Shannon Sharpe have daughters and stuff like that. So you don't want to put yourself in a situation where like even the women in your family are going to look at you sideways and look at you like or have some type of doubt that you would do something like this, right? Because if with all of this stuff that's mounting and piling up, they won't be able to ignore all of that evidence. And so you don't want that out there. So sometimes, people get money and they get power and stuff like that, and they think that they can move any way that they want because the money just washes it away. And that's not it. So his family, it's an issue too. Like I said, when it comes to like his family and his daughters and stuff like that, you don't want them to have, to see you in that light. You don't want your sisters to see you in that light or your daughters. Then you have a situation where it could be, there's a lot of anxiety that come with, fighting these type of allegations. So that it's not a comfortable position. It's a stressful position, and you don't want to have to fight these type of it's a fight that you don't need. It's a fight that you could have avoided. Like why would you have somebody, I don't care if she's 19, 29, 39, 49. Why would you have a woman in your presence that don't bring anything to the table except for like her physical, like that's it. That she was 19, she didn't bring anything to the table. As far as like, like, and I was listening to the tapes and I'm listening to the conversations that he was having with her. And it was he was like talking to a little girl. She was obviously in those tapes just trying to manipulate, and but those are the kind of conversations you get from somebody um who is not mature. And they have those type of conversations. They try to play like they are innocent and they dumb and they naive and stuff like that, but you can see right through that. Like if you listen to her conversation with him, she tried to play naive at times. She tried to play like, like she don't understand like why was he talking to her this kind of way and stuff like that. Those kind of conversations would bore, like most men would like be bored of those kind of conversations. Like, why would you continuously have that person, that young lady, or somebody with that mentality in your circle? She wasn't worthy to be in his circle. She didn't, like people say, like, number one, she didn't bring anything to the table. Like, what could she do for him besides, besides sex? And she's in his circle. All she could do, she was more of a liability, definitely, than an asset. And so, uh, and that's what it was, like she just brought him down because he allowed her to bring him down. Monique, the comedian, told him that he needs an older woman in his life. And he didn't take heed to that advice because not just an older woman, and what was I like another interview he had with Cheryl Underwood. Like her mentality. I like Cheryl Underwood's mentality about like when it comes to relationships. And she said that, no matter how much money she make, the man in her life is he's the leader, he's head of household. And so, like these more mature older women, they realize that, like relationships is not just all about the aesthetics. It's not all about like the money. Like when you're in a relationship with somebody, like you are vulnerable. You are you why you make yourself, I don't get it. Like, why would you make yourself vulnerable to somebody who is a OF? Like this young lady is like was a model, or what do you call it? The OF. She worked on OF. I don't know if they call them models or what, but she had a OF account. And so she is, she's selling, I don't know if she's selling pictures of her feet or what or her. But anyway, if you have one of those type of accounts and you that just shows like her mind state. I'm not knocking, like people do what they do, but those kind of people, she didn't fit into his life for what he trying to do. This dude he's built an empire. And so that's like letting somebody drive your Rolls Royce or your Range Rover or something like that, and they don't have a license. Why would you do that? They don't have a license. You're going to give them the keys to a car that's like $100,000 or so. They're not worthy if they want to drive something like that, they need to get a license and they need to get their own or show that they have their own or show that if they have an accident in your stuff, then they could pay for it. But he have people around him. This young lady is around him, and all she is a liability. And now this is what happened, man. He paid with, like I said, he paid with his reputation. He paid with like his family relationships. He's paying as far as like his mental health is concerned. And there was no upside to dating this young lady, um, or whatever they was doing. He's going to lose. He's already off of ESPN. That's he's all they saying it's a what is it? Some type of that he's suspended or I don't even think they even said he was suspended. They just said he stepped away from ESPN. But she didn't bring, he thought, I don't know, people just think that when you it's on just gonna cost you some money to get out of these situations. But it costs you a lot more than just money. Like I said, it costs you with your family, your relationships as far as your daughters and your sisters is concerned. Um, your mental health, you gotta fight. You know what I mean? Like these lawyers are releasing information like day by day, something new come out. Then another young lady has come out, somebody who said that he did something to her. You know, for Shannon Sharpe to be able to give all the advice that he give about relationships, um, and how people should move. He even said one time on his show that he don't even get on an elevator by himself with a woman. And so for him to get caught up like this, it just it don't make sense. So I don't think like what's the guy name? I don't think Shaq set him up. I don't think Matt Barnes set him up. I don't think what's the guy name? Skip Bayless set him up. I don't think Jason Whitlock. I think he set Shannon Sharpe set Shannon Sharpe up because he knew from past experience that this was not a good idea. He knew from just being an athlete that if you have money and you have status, you are a target. And so he really can't blame nobody but himself. He's saying Tony Bugsby, this is a shakedown and all that stuff. If it is a shakedown, you gave Tony Bugsby the leverage. You know what I mean? You are part of the shakedown too. You shaking Shannon Sharpe down. So most of the responsibility, in my opinion, this falls on Shannon Sharpe. Because I know that like he could sit there and say, "Man, if I had only did this," and he knew even before Monique told him to get a more mature woman that can help take care of you. You know what I mean? Like you selling yourself short. This young lady take care of you for a few minutes during the day. Well, what about the rest of the day? You know what I mean? Like people will, like take care of each other as far as like comforting each other throughout the day, um, cooking meals for each other, or she could cook meals for you or do laundry and that, I don't want to just say like that's what women do or that's what they good for, but like whatever she do to bring peace into your life, like this young lady, like it didn't seem like it was no peace there because she 19, she don't even know what peace is. She don't know what the definition of peace is. She wants to argue or discuss things that like are meaningless. Like it's a waste that the conversation, like those tapes and those conversations just was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. But when you build real relationships with people who are mature and people who understand what a real relationship is, then the conversations are totally different. And so he didn't you know, he brought him down. Shannon Sharpe brought Shannon Sharpe down. And so that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I will check you all out on the next video. Peace.